I think I have an idea about what goes on in the minds of the ingrates or those that fall into this, or kufr even, right? I think I have an idea, but I can only make assumptions, right? Allah knows best. I think what goes on inside of them, and they might not even realize it or put it very clearly, but in the end, Allah knows deep into our hearts. Probably Allah knows us better than we know ourselves. In fact, I don't have any doubt about that, right? I'm still finding out, Allah knows. Allah knows what's behind me and before me, right? Allah already, even before Allah sends me a circumstance, a test, Allah already knows how I'm going to respond. This is the glory of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? This is what we marvel at and glorify and submit to, the all-knowing. So that's that, there's that, and what I'm talking about here is, I think we can take it personally against God when things don't happen the way we want. There is something very heavy that takes place where we slip into that. This can happen to any one of us at any point in time, right? Every time something goes wrong in my life, I'm like, whining, right? I see this weakness in myself all the time. And I have to remind myself, reparent myself, whatever, to get back in the right frame of gratitude. And in the seerah, this woke me up, right? As I visited the seerah, I think you really need to visit the seerah from time to time, just because there is no greater example for us. Allah tells us this directly. We have a perfect example for us to follow in Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This cannot be understated, right? Because we are constantly looking for guides. What do you think Andrew Tate is? He became really popular because men are thirsty for a guide, right? So, and it's so ironic how many Muslim men go to Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, in the end, you see how funny it is? Muslim men are running to Andrew Tate is running to Islam. Everyone should be running to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'm not saying they're leaving the religion for Andrew, but the sad thing is, if you want what the meaning of Rijal is, we are going to only find it in Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? In the Sunnah, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even the men who followed him were brilliant examples of what masculinity means. Yeah, we are only going to get it there. So, but I just find it ironic. But it's a beautiful thing. But then again, never mind. I don't want to talk about him so much right now, because I have my suspicions, but he's a Muslim brother, so I should not, unless I have something more solid. So I'm gonna leave it. It's better. This thing about control opposition is something you need to be aware of and just be discerning. That's all. Anyway, the point I'm making here is this thing where, and it's amazing. So in the seerah, right, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he went to Ta'if to give da'wah, and he was abused. He was like humiliated, the worst things he went through for the message. How unfair that must have felt, right? What did he ever do? What did he ever do? And look at the pain he had to go through, right? He was, rocks were thrown at him, and rocks thrown by little children until he bled, and the worst things, yeah. And what was he trying to do? He's trying to save people from a fire. He's just saying the truth. You know what I mean? He's not even like saying the kind of dumb things that I'm saying. Astaghfirullah, nothing. I mean, to even compare. I'm just a jahil who just speaks his mind and speaks too much. Too much. But his speech was beautiful and truthful, and he was inviting people out of jahiliyyah. What did he get in return? Abuse. Yeah? Abuse and humiliation, pain. But what did he do? There's so much to learn, and we need to emulate that. When he made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even Jibreel alayhi salam asked if if Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam would like them to be punished for what they did to him, which is completely unfair to him, what they did to him, when all he did was send them the message of Islam. Yeah, this is the disgusting thing. This is what we will find here today. When we try to share, we will get rejected, humiliated, attacked, all that stuff. For what? It's like you tell someone, hey, you're putting a poison into yourself and your children, they will attack you. Yeah, this reality needs to be understood. Yeah, so that you can come to terms with it when you face it in this life here and now, and know how to respond when life seems unfair. This is the thing. This we need to know. We need to understand. Life will seem unfair at times. And this is where we need the good opinion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is the most just. So important to know Allah's attribute. Allah is the most just. There is, yes, always is injustice everywhere, oppression everywhere, just disgusting, all worship of desires everywhere. Yeah, but we need to seek the truth, and then we will understand, and we will not build all these bad opinions of Allah and then take it personally when life seems unfair. His dua, he only proclaimed his weakness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He made dua for them. Yeah, he made dua for these people who abused him. But the way he made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he called out to Allah, he said, Ya Rahman Rahim. He said, you are the, I'm sorry, I have to paraphrase, because of my sins, my memory is not the best. Not like the Imams of Hadith who would amaze us with their memories, the pious predecessors. They had amazing memories. But we are living in Sin City, and may Allah make it easy. Anyway, he only declared of his weakness. He called out to Allah and said, Allah is the Lord of the weak. He only pointed to his own weakness. Yeah. Not for a second did he turn to Allah and say, Allah, this is not fair to me, Allah. That kind of tone, yeah? Never. Yeah? Never did he step away from glorifying Allah, even at that lowest point, right? Yeah? Like, we can only imagine how that feels. Because I've been discarded all the time by people, all the time, and I know how it feels. Yeah, to be discarded by people, to be ill-treated by people. I know that feeling very well. Yeah, but to maintain the frame of glorifying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to even, that's the example in him, yeah, in our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, in two things: to be merciful to them, yeah, to not go into a rage, to have the softness of the heart, and also the most important thing, to maintain that opinion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because he knew that Allah is who allows anything to happen, right? better than anyone he knows. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Yeah, and he didn't turn against Allah, like, why Allah would you do this to me? That kind of tone. You know what I mean? Yeah, this requires wisdom. This requires wisdom. The greatest wisdom is to have a good opinion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's what I'm getting at here. And when we slip from that, we start to take things personally, I think that's what happens with people who fall into ingratitude. Sometimes you don't even realize, right? And then they decide, you know what, I'm only going to do this much for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah, there's a grudge in there. It might be hidden even. This is just my thoughts, yeah? Because any one of us can fall into this. Any one of us. And another thing that I came across in the seerah that's amazing is how Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had his heart removed as a child. This was narrated, and it's in Sahih Muslim, I believe, that when he was a child, Angel Jibreel came to him while he was playing with the kids and basically removed his heart to clean it, removed the clot, and said, this is a portion of the devil in you, so he was purified for his mission, But imagine the trauma. We talk about trauma. Imagine that, right? Imagine that once again shows what stuff that he went through, It also shows, what he is willing to do. What a beautiful person the last prophet, seal of messengers is, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Stuff he went through in his life. So I think that's an amazing thing to know. To know that we have that thing in us. Every one of us has that portion of shaitan that we need to guard against, that we don't feed the beast. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was given this great mission. He was sent as a mercy to the world. This is what we need to understand. This is how we need to look at it. He was given a special mission, mercy to the world. This was the final revelation. Allah did this through him, sent us the final messenger who didn't speak of his desires. This is for us. And he delivered. He didn't steer astray. He didn't, he didn't go off the path. He maintained. No matter what happened to him, he maintained his frame and delivered the message. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So anyway, those two things, those two amazing things about our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to think about. And also, I think the most important thing I'm saying here is that we need to, no matter what is happening, we need to never ever take it personally. Always glorify Allah, always maintain a good opinion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and ask for strength. That's it. We ask Allah for the strength to overcome. La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wusaha. Allah doesn't burden a soul more than it can bear. We need to come to grounded understanding of this, and we need to just ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah tests us with the trial itself to see, are we going to be the ones who like Shaitan, what did he do? He got all upset. Oh, you put me in this, that whole thing. You did this to me, that. That's also knowledge. Shaitan is very knowledgeable. Same thing, right? Same thing. This is the contrast here. Shaitan knows nothing happens outside of Allah's will. So the shaitani way is to say, you allowed this to happen to me. It's ingratitude. It's like basically saying, I deserve better. I didn't sign up for this, which is the same thing the feminist narcissist does today, basically. When the marriage gets a bit difficult, I didn't sign up for this. So this is what we need to understand, that shaitani element, yeah, that lives in all of us, and we don't lean into that. We don't lean into that, but we lean into the example of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam instead. Yeah, it's very clear as night and day. But we really need to understand this point of how we respond to the trial. This is the key. We don't go to the dark side. Yeah, it's the trial, stimulus, response. That stimulus is the trial. Allah is constantly testing us to see who is sincere. This whole stage, this earth, this level earth stage with the dome, this place is meant for that, to be trialed, to see who is sincere. And the most important point is the trial itself, that we need to know, we need to make sure how we respond to the trial. So that's all from me. I hope I made the point clear, but let me just make sure of it. What I'm saying, I think I have. It's that trial, and when life tests us, when it gets difficult, we need to make sure we don't do the shaitani thing of, you did this to me, Allah, I deserve better, blah blah blah, all that rubbish, and take it personally against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How foolish is that? Right? You can go dive deep into that, how all that is wrong. And then there's the other side of it, where we maintain the frame of gratitude and ask Allah for strength and the way out. Allah is al-Fatah. Allah will grant us an opening. Yeah, Allah is testing us to see who is sincere. That's all from me. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.